Hello students, in today's class I am going to discuss parameters and arguments. So what is parameter? A parameter is nothing but a variable which we define inside the function. So as we have learned in the previous lecture that there are two types of functions in Python. The first is predefined function and the another one is a user defined function. So whenever we define a user defined function, there are two categories of user defined function. The first one is default function and the another one is parameterized function. So when we talk about specifically for parameterized function, so there comes the concept of parameters and arguments. So basically there are two types of parameters, the formal parameter and actual parameter. Formal parameters are nothing but the variables which we define inside function definition, and actual parameters are nothing but the parameters which we define while calling the function. Okay, so today we'll discuss the types of arguments in Python. So argument is the actual value of the variable that get passed to the function. So when a function is called, the arguments are the data you pass into the function parameter. Okay, so when you call the function, when the function is called and the value you are providing and the value you are passing to the function is known as the argument. Okay, so here a is the parameter. So while defining the function, the variable which we define or the variable which we declare is known as the parameter, and it becomes argument when you call the function or when you pass the value to the function to another function. Okay, so there are basically four types of arguments in Python. The first one is positional and required argument. The positional and required arguments are default arguments you define in parameterized function, like a here. So a is nothing but the positional and required argument. The next category is default arguments, and then variable length argument, which are also known as arbitrary arguments, and the keyword arguments. So first we'll discuss positional arguments. Okay, so or required arguments. So as the name indicates, argument is nothing but the parameter passed at the time of function definition and calling. So till now we have discussed about the function calling in Python. Whenever we provide or wherever we provide the arguments at the time of function calling. So as far as the required arguments are concerned, these are the arguments which are required to be passed at the time of function calling. Okay, when with the exact match of their function, their positions in the function call and definition. Okay, so this is the very basic example or definition of function. So we have defined a function add a and b, return a and b. So in the above example, whenever I am going to call this function, so this is the positional argument. Okay, so when we call the function with add 10 and 20, the value 10 is going to assign to variable a, or it is going to take the first position. So that is why it is called positional argument, because it more concentrates on the position of the variable. So if I have written b comma a, so it is going to take the first value inside b. Okay, so here position matters a lot. Okay, and 20 is going to assign to the second argument or second position. So this is the very basic example. Here I have passed no argument, and then one argument, and then two arguments. So when I pass no argument, so it is default function. So there is no call of any positional or anything in that. So when I called display, so it is going to print hello. Inside the second example, I am doing the square of the variable. So if I am providing 3, it is going to display 9. Okay, so def display num. So num is this is the positional arguments. If I am going to define two values here, it is going to give me error, because there is only one variable inside the definition of the function. Okay, So def display a comma b, so it is going to print a plus b. This is going to perform addition of numbers. So 20 is going to assign to a, 30 is going to assign to b. If I change the order of variable here in the definition and here also, so it is going to take according to the position of variable. If I have written b first, it is going to take the first value inside b, and if I have written a later, and then so it is going to take the value later, okay, for a. So let's discuss the default arguments. So default arguments, see here if we talk about in this example, suppose I forgot to mention the value of b here, so it is going to give the error. So to cure this problem, to overcome this flaw, we have introduced the default arguments. So default arguments are nothing but it allows user to specify function arguments that can have default value. So at the time of definition of the function, I can give the value of the variable which is known as default value. So if I forgot to give that value at the time of function call, it is going to take the default value which I have defined at the time of function definition, okay. So a function can be called with fewer arguments than it is defined to have, okay. If the function accepts 3 parameters but function call provides only 2 arguments, then the third parameter will be assigned the default value or by default if and only if I have made that third variable as default variable, okay. So the next is the default value to an argument is provided by the assignment operator assign sign, okay. So here is the example or syntax of the default argument. So def multi, I have taken 2 parameters a and b. So a comma b assigned by 30. So this 30 will become the default value for b. If I am not going to assign any value at the function call for b, it is going to take its default value of 30. Okay, but if I am going to assign any new value at the time of function call, it is going to take that new value, okay. So or you can say it overrides that value. So def multi a comma b assigned by 30, this b becomes the default argument for this function multi, okay. Return a asterisk b. So the first I called it for 2 only, so it is going to take the value of a and it has taken the value of b as 30. So the result is 60. In another case, I have defined 2 variables, one for 2 values, one for a and one for b. So a is going to take the value 4 and b is going to take the value 8, okay. So this is how it is going to perform multiplication of number. This is again the example of default function. So def display name, roll number, year and division. Remember that default arguments will always come after your non-default arguments. If you are going to define default arguments earlier, it is going to give you error. So after defining all non-default argument, you have to define the default arguments, okay. So I am printing the name, roll number, year and division. So basically year and division are the default arguments here. So when I call display function and I have defined only 2 values, one for name and one for roll number. So Shubham is going to take the value, take the position of name, and 10 is going to store inside roll number, okay. So when I when I call this function, it is going to display name as Shubham, roll number as 10, year as FE and division as G, because this is the default value for that. In this example, I have given all the 4 values, so it is going to take in the place of FE, it is going to take PE, and in the place of G, it is going to take A. Similarly here, in the place of FE, it is going to take SE, and at the place of G division, it is going to take G only, because I have not provided any other variable or any other value here, okay. So this is how we define default arguments. The next is nothing but the variable length arguments. Variable length arguments are nothing but they are also known as arbitrary arguments. So suppose I don't know how many arguments I need to define at the time of function definition in advance. I don't know that how many arguments will be passed to a function, okay. In such kind of situation, Python allows programmer to make function call with any number of arguments. So in variable length argument, the function definition uses asterisk sign before parameter name. So it is the prefix, you can say that whenever you don't know how many arguments are going to pass to a particular variable, so you are going to write asterisk before that variable name, so that variable or that parameter becomes arbitrary argument or variable length argument. So it is free to take any number of values, okay, at the time of function call. So let's discuss this with an example. In print function, we can pass any number of string, okay. So this is the basic syntax for this. Def function name, argument 1, argument 2, asterisk variable argument. So this variable arg becomes the arbitrary arguments. Inside the inside function, you are going to write whatever logic or whatever statements you want to write, and then if you want to write return, you can write return, otherwise no need, okay. So this is the basic example. Def add a comma b comma args. So args becomes the variable length argument or arbitrary argument. I have performed addition of a and b, and for value in arg, every value I have multiplied with m, okay. So return m. So when I called add 1 2 3 4 5, so it is going to give me the result 21, and add 1 2 3 is going to give the result 6. How? Call with 6 arguments and call with 3 arguments. So first two position is going to add take the position of a and b, and then the other 3 4 5 6 are going to store inside args, okay. And here in add 1 2 3, 1 2 is going to store inside a 1 is going to store inside a, b is going to store in 2 is going to store inside b, and for args asterisk args we have taken 3. So this is how it is going to run. The next is nothing but the keyword argument. So keyword argument, in which order of argument can be changed. So till now we have seen the positional argument, in which you cannot change the order, okay, at the time of function call. Remember that whenever you want to change the order, you can change the order at the time of function definition, but at the whatever order you have defined, and inside and below whatever values you are going to define are exactly take the same position which we have defined above at the time of function definition, okay. In default arguments, you can provide default values, okay, but again it should be positional, okay. The next one was arbitrary argument, again it was positional. Now keyword argument is the only argument which does not bother about its order, okay. You can change the order of the arguments. So keyword arguments, when used in function call, it helps the function to identify arguments by the parameter name, okay, because at the time of function call, we call parameter with its value which we have defined at the time of definition. So in the function call, you can change the order of parameters. You can call any function in any order or different from the specified function definition. This is the very basic example for same. Def display name, age, salary. So I have inside the function, I have printed everything, name, age and salary. So here I have stored name in N, 25 age in A, and salary in S, okay. So inside display, see, you can do another thing also, that you can directly provide values here at the time of function call, or you can do like this, that you store the values in a variable first, and then you can assign the variable to the parameter. So name, age A, and salary S. This is how this keyword arguments executes, okay. The next thing is documentation string or doc string in function. So doc string plays a very major role in inside function. So it serves the same purpose as that of comments in Python. So comments are nothing but the statements which we write to understand what is happening inside our program. So in a similar way, doc string is going to explain that what is going on inside the function, or what the particular function does, okay. So they are designed to explain the code. The first statement inside function body can be a string literal, which is known as the doc string. So after writing your header, the first thing you or the first string literal you define is known as doc string. So to define a documentation string, you can use 3 quotes, which could be 3 single quotes and 3 double quotes, any of them, and programmer can write documentation string for every function. So this documentation can be accessed by the other function also. Documentation string can be accessed using underscore doc underscore property of the function. So if you want to see the doc string inside your function, so you have to use this property. So this is a very basic syntax for doc string: function def, function name, parameters, function doc string, function statements and return statements. This is how we define doc string. So after writing the header of the function, which is after colon sign, the first thing you write is doc string. So doc string will always come inside triple quotes. So it could be triple single quotes or triple double quotes. Okay, and this works as a comment in function. Okay, so this is how I have defined a function. This is doc string print Python. To see a doc string, I need to write function name dot underscore doc underscore. This is the property of doc string. So to see what you have written inside the function as doc string, you have to write this syntax. Okay. The next thing is good programming practice. So Python has defined some steps that how you can write a very good program in Python. So while writing very large and complex program, you must take some points, take care of some points that will help you to develop readable, effective, efficient code. The first thing is, instead of tab, you have to use 4 spaces for indentation. Insert blank line to separate function and statement inside the function. So these are the points which will help you to make good readable program and efficient code in your programming. Okay, and it will upgrade your typing skills and programming skill as well. Okay, so you need to use comments to explain the code. This is a very good thing. So whenever you're going to make any program, you know that what is the logic behind that program, but for others to understand, you need to mention the comments inside it. Okay, you need to use space around operators and after commas. Name of classes should be written as class name student info, like the first letter of the class name should be capital and or uppercase, you can say. Name of the function should be in lowercase with underscore to separate the words. So if there are more than one word in your function, so to concatenate those words, you need to use underscore sign, so it looks good. Okay, so follow the identify and naming conventions while giving the name of the function. As I told you earlier in the earlier lecture, that you have to follow the same rules you have defined as you have learned at the time of variable name writing. The same rules you have to apply at the time of function and at the time of class naming. Okay, so this is it, guys. Now let's discuss hands-on for the same. So I'm going to explain you some basic programs based on functions and how to define a function, how to call a function, what are the local variables, what are the global variables, what are the scope of those things, and like parameters, what is default parameters, and everything we have learned till now. Okay, so let's discuss the very basic example of function, like how to define a function. So to define a function, we use def keyword. So def, suppose my function name is hello. Oops, sorry. Hello. So this is going to be the default function because I have not specified any parameters here. So I am going to use print simple statement. What is happening? Sorry. Print hello world. So this is how you define a function. Okay, so to call a function, you need to use only function name, and that should be out of your function body. So this print statement is inside hello, and to call that function hello, I am going to use only hello. So after, when I run this code, it is going to print hello world. Okay, so this is the very simple and basic example of function. This is your default function example. Now I am going to explain you the parameterized function, how to define a parameterized function and how to call that function. So def suppose I want to add, so def add a comma b. So this is your parameter. Okay, so this is your positional parameter, default. This is your required parameters. Okay, so I can write return, sorry, return a plus b, or you can write c assigned by a plus b. I'll show you that. Add 10 comma 20. When I run this, it is going to give 30. Okay, so this is how you use return statement in your program. If you don't want to use return statement, you can either use print statement like this: def mul a comma b, c assigned by a asterisk b, and print, sorry, and print c. So there are basic three ways you can pass the values to a calling function. The first thing is you can pass the values directly to the calling function, or you can use variables of different names. Okay, so in this example I'm going to take another way of giving like values to the calling variables. So I can assign x is equals to int input, enter a number, y int input, enter another number. Okay, and after this I am going to call mul x comma y. So when I run this, enter first number, suppose you have entered 4, enter second number 7, and this is how it is going to multiply. Here you can use values directly, so this becomes static. You can make it dynamic also. You can use same variable name as a and b, or you can use another variable as x and y. So you can either use a here, a, b, and here also a comma b. So this is how we define very basic functions in Python. So this is your positional and required argument. If you want, I can show you. Simply you have, if you assign a value 10 here, and if you forgot to define value here, suppose in this example only, oops, delete this, and I am writing here 10, and if I run this, it is going to give me 100 because it has taken the default value of b. Okay, if I forgot to give it, if I give it as 20, it is going to give you 200. So this is how we execute that these arguments. Here you can also like practice what are the keyword arguments and what else, what not. Now a very simple example for global and local variable. So let's discuss that. Def x assigned by 20, def well x assigned by 50. So this 50 is nothing but the local variable, and this x has the value as global variable. So now I'm going to print x. Okay, oops. Now here when I call that function, well, it is going to give 50 as a result. Or if I call print x, it is going to give 20. Why? Because 20 is global variable, and it has a global scope, which means it is accessible throughout your program. But 50 has a local 50 is a local variable, and it has a very limited scope. It is valid till inside the function only. If I delete this and if I call x here, so oops, it has taken a value. If I write a here, and if I write A and A, and if I run this, so it has taken another value of A, as I defined A before. So A was 6 earlier, so it has taken that. You can change it, suppose AB. This is the problem with, now if you run this, it is going to give 50 only, because why it has given error here? Because AB is local variable, it has local scope, it is valid inside function only. Okay, this is it guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching this, and I hope you will learn it and you will practice it at home. Thank you.